Hello and welcome to Corvic AI tutorials. In this tutorial, I'm going to walk you through how you can create a custom knowledge graph on top of your enterprise data using Corvic AI. In this example, I'm using a financial transaction use case where I have both structured and unstructured data involved. For the structured, I have transactional database, which includes tables for entities such as people, accounts, loans, companies, as well as the relationship between them, such as payments, approvals, applications, investments, and so on and so forth. I also have some KYC documents, which includes report about people, accounts, organizations, and so on and so forth. Here is one example of a PDF file, which includes information about a specific client, their financial information, some other references stored in a unstructured format. Now, let's walk through how we can create a knowledge graph on this data. So here I have what we call a data application pipeline, where I ingest my data and I can just drag and drop my data sources to the data application canvas and start exploring, enriching, and augmenting this. I have the extract tables already applied on top of my transactional database. I have all the entities and the relationships as tables out. And because the data already has some structure, I can leverage a build graph action on top of it. And further, we can also leverage graph neural networks to vectorize this graph involved data for further application in the downstream AI scenario. So far, I've covered the structured piece, how I can leverage the unstructured side. So here, as you see, I have the pipeline of augmentation and entity extraction that allows me to build a graph on top. I have created a augmentation using my augment action on top of my unstructured data that will extract these fields out of the data. So if I click on the output of the last augmentation action, you can see that for each and every file, I have extracted the person name, address, organization, and account ID. I'm going to go and click build graph. As soon as I click on this, there is a build graph functionality for me. I could also interact with the system through natural language. As you see, I already have the rest of the day graph built where the relationship tables are connecting the entity tables. So I'm going to go and connect my person name field to the person. I'm going to connect the organization field, in this case, to company. And I'm going to connect the account ID to the account table. So as you see, my table now includes 3 connections from my KYC documents to the rest of the graph. Click apply, and that builds my new knowledge graph that connects everything together. Now I have an agent and sitting on top of data and accessing all the graph and non-graph information, including the vectorized information in here. So I can just go click on it and start interacting with the system. For example, I can ask what are the most common email domains for different account types? Or I can say, can you analyze the transaction frequency for different types of payments, do some aggregation and summarize this within the plot? Every question involves a thought process for the agent that could be a combination of fetching tables, executing queries, doing distributed Python, and generating plots. And the result is summarized for our usage. I could even go further and ask for some blocked accounts. It is an interesting question because in this case, we not only go and fetch the information from a specific account, but also we leverage the graph neural network vectorized space using a vector search operation to be able to find adjacent accounts based on the graph topology and structure to this blocked account. As you see, the result includes the blocked account named Kerry Dowless, as well as the similar accounts to this blocked account. I can even go further and say, hey, now create a report for this Kerry Dowless so I can pass it to decide any further action on it. More interestingly, if I want to have a better visualized way to talk and interact with my data in the graph, I can ask questions like this. Find a graph and basically build an HTML graph viewer on top of my data that shows my persons, companies, accounts, loans, and mediums. I can even count the numbers, maybe search through the graph through this HTML artifact. That's the end of my tutorial. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please reach out if you have any further questions. Thank you for watching this video tutorial.